I'm Shukri from Management and Science University. So probably let me begin with some introduction for my visit this time. It is very remarkable to me as far as I'm concerned because this trip is very much about to celebrate 20 years anniversary of our existence and contribution in Sri Lanka. I think from 2005 officially we be here for Management and Science Institute, which is also the part of Management and Science University, and followed through by our postgraduate centers, Management and Science University Postgraduate Center, mainly focus on PhDs with Professor Adi Khattibi just now, where is he, to look into how we can develop, nurture the talents, particularly the PhD level and research to help to develop the country. And we are proud to say that as it is now, after 20 years, we can see that many of our products, our graduates, our alumni now contributing very much to the academic environment in Sri Lanka. Many of them has been appointed as professors, leading the university, become academic leaders in their own right in the university. And in the same manner also, we have seen that many of the industrialists, people who are the CEOs, working with the government, working with the industries, develop the economic component of the countries, also part of our PhDs alumni that contribute to the development growth economy in this country. And we also, at the institute level, MSI, we will contribute into the skill base of the Sri Lanka talents, particularly in hospitality and tourism, and also in medical and health sciences. So I think we are very proud, of course not satisfying, because, I mean, we are very much as an educator, I'm personally, we're looking into how can we build and develop more for the future of the country, Sri Lanka, and also for the future of the world. From the university perspective, of course, Management and Science University are very much Malaysian university rooted in Malaysian legal system, but the vision, the outlook, the policy are very much a global university. We have developed a global university rooted in Malaysia, and I feel that there is more timely than now to feel the importance of globalization in higher education. With the things that are happening around us, particularly in US, in Europe, I feel that the global mindset, it is very important things that need to be nurtured in the young students, young university students for the future leaders. Otherwise, we're going to be inherit the world which is very much looking inward, and very protectionist in that nature. So I think that is, as far as I'm concerned, Management and Science University offering a global education to Sri Lanka as a comprehensive university. Not just about bachelor in accounting. We have 200 programs revolving around 5 clusters. Clusters of medical health sciences, from MBBS to be a doctor, to dentistry, to bachelor in veterinary, to bachelor medical science, and so on and so forth. And also talking about business cluster, business management and professional studies, which is very much about accounting, law, international business, entrepreneurship, investment, finance, all those things are all 200. You can go to the website, but I just want to give you the perspective. The same manner also we have Faculty of Health and Life Sciences, which is very much applied. Physiotherapies, all the nutritions, and at the same manner we have our School of Hospitality and Creative Art, Culinary Art, very much skill-based. Fashion and design, I mean, this is a very good top-notch program, working with industry, people like Christian Dior. We have fashion shows twice a year, one in Osaka, one in Shah Alam, our hometown, and the rest. Same manner also we have School of Education, Social Science, which is, I always say that this is the liberal arts of the university who spur the creativity, innovation in social sciences. And we also have the last one is postgraduate program to nurture the research skill, to develop the future researcher, to develop the future academic leaders or in master's and degree program. So I think in a nutshell, that is university. As I said just now, very much global, comprehensive programs of every levels, very much also embed with the industries. We are working with industries, more than 2,000 companies attached with our university, and we create the ecosystem of industries to make sure that the students are very much employable. Based on our track record, our tracer studies, we are more than 90% employability rates after graduations, and we are top 300 best employable university in the world. And the same manner also, we push all this not just to get a job, but also become a job creators as entrepreneurs, to create then contribute to the community as well. And all those things are rooted in our sustainable development goal or sustainability as a value system within the university. So this is our offering to all our international students and communities. Currently, we have students coming from 73 nationalities. I'm expecting that in 2 years' time, 24 months down the line, we can reach 200 nationalities. And we have many Sri Lanka study in our university. And also we are offering good environment here in terms of supporting from the main campus. And hopefully that in very small way, we can contribute, as I said earlier, to the talent building in this country. And the future is here in the education. I always believe that education is the best mobility factors. And here we are working together to create the talent for the future here in Sri Lanka. We are contributing the economic growth of country, academic leadership and research component of the country, and at the same manner for the next 20 years or for the next 100 years. We are looking forward of a couple of things. Number one, we are looking for how we can inculcate, nurture a 21st century learning, embed to very much here in Sri Lanka. And the same manner also to bring what we have developed in the University of Center of Excellence, COE, particularly in the area of artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, because that is the future. That is the future. So we must bring that and sharpen and infuse in the curriculum that we have to ensure that cybersecurity and artificial intelligence are going to be part of the thing that we introduce also here, either at the undergraduates or in the postgraduate level. Okay, in the same manner, I'm also looking into how we can be or develop working hand in hand with the industries. Because by working with industries, we can develop the component of skill. It is very much also needed. So we are talking about how to develop the TVET component, vocational component, to support the industries and at the end of the day to support the growth of the economy of the country. So I think the future is always about AI. The future is always about skill. The future is always about the new research component that needed for the economic growth of any particular country. I think I have visited many places from Saudi right up to United Kingdom. The component of education is always the same. It's all dynamics, moving, and very much contextual of that particular community.
Are there any specific partnerships industries looking in Sri Lanka or in the South Asian region, let's say, to diversify its offerings?
Oh, yes, we are very much looking, as I said to you, in the 4 areas that we would like to see grow in Sri Lanka. Number one is how can we support the hospitality and tourism here, because I can see that the prosperity next prosperity here is about hospitality and tourism. I can see that, I mean, even here, when I had breakfast this morning, I can see that a lot of foreigners. That is a good sign. It's a very, very good sign. So I think this is the component that we would like to contribute, because we are top 10 and top 50 best in the world when it comes to art and design, hospitality and tourism, according to QS ranking. So you look into our ranking in our website, you know that's the latest. In Malaysia, we are number 1 for hospitality and tourism. In the region, we are number 10, if I'm not mistaken. And in the world, we are top 50. So that is something that we can contribute, and very much in line with the demand and requirement here. That's number 1. Number 2, we are also looking into how we can contribute and looking at partnership of medical and health sciences, because that's also our area of strength. Apart from, we have many Sri Lanka join our medical program, because our medical program is fully accredited by Sri Lanka Medical Council. But we're also looking beyond that, including working with the hospital here, looking into the nurses, looking into the paramedics, and it is work we do with a job guarantee in hand. At the end of the day, it's about the job as well. So that's number 3. Number 4, I'm looking very much in terms of how we can develop the industries to achieve what I call it the technical, vocational components, skill-based, because highly needed also in any country. So this is our priority areas in Sri Lanka. Because in any country that we set our offshore campuses, we always blend with the national policy of that particular country, because we feel that we are here to support. We are here to contribute in whatever little ways that we have. If we can do that as an educators, you know the feeling, very satisfying, very much. Okay.
Well, MSU has been the trusted partner in so many institutions. Why MSU, and what are the specialty there? More than when you see the advertisements, they all are our customers right throughout sometimes. So how do you get such trusted partnerships? Like, what is the secret behind that?
Okay, good question, difficult answer. I think it is very much about the framework of partnership that we're looking at. And very much also the dynamics of the collaboration that we're looking at. And I think from this component, we're always looking into any partnerships. We go beyond IG, beyond photo of Facebook and Instagram, beyond IG. We're looking into how we can, of any of collaboration that we have, to have an impact to the community. That's what we are looking at. And we are, with that component, we develop various categories of the impact to the communities. Like, for example, how I explained here, when we see that the area in Sri Lanka, for example, we choose hospitality and tourism, because I know that's going to have a lot of impact to the community, jobs, creations, economic growth, SME, small, medium enterprise, all those things are very, very important. We're looking into medical health sciences, because this is the area that if you don't look into the healthcare, you don't need to this component, no way that we can build a good, prosperous country in the future. One of the indicators of prosperity is about healthcare, wellness. So I think in the nutshell, it is always about how we can have impact to the community through the sustainability strategy effort that we do, and working to make sure that we can create a job and also become a job creators for many of the talents that we have, which we call graduates and alumni. So I think with that focus, many of the university of similar mindset, many of industry who have similar mindset. I found it amazing when I work across with the university industry. We have many people who think like me.
You have exceeded that. You have gone that extra mile to make them humane.
Yes,
and
that's
education.
Very much, yeah. In fact, I've been saying that one of my mantra to all my students, I'm not worried about robotic as it. Of course, I will focus on AI, focus on all those things of technology, but very much I want to build you as human, to have creativity, to have innovations, to have empathy in you. Because when you have empathy, creativity, and innovation, for example, which is robot cannot deliver that to you, you become very good specialist doctor. You become very good technologists. You become very good engineers. You become very good entrepreneurs. That component. So we build a human being, but utilize the latest technology of robotic, AI, to make sure that we are efficient, we are in the forefront of technology, and we can serve the community. So in a nutshell, it's the impact to the community, the SDG, that make many people binds to our university, management science university. Hopefully it satisfies you. Am I passing in my defense proposal? Okay, sorry. No, don't worry, make it casual.
Yes, the question is about linkage MSU.
Okay.
What are the measures can be taken? I mean, what are the factors can be utilized for the development of the economic sector of Sri Lanka?
Pardon? What is the measure?
Sectors can be utilized for the development of the betterment of the economy.
Okay. I think it is what I'm saying just now. It's very much related to the key sector strength of Sri Lanka, hospitality and tourism. But if we go slightly deeper on that, in that perspective, I think we must build the industry, and particularly the SME, small medium enterprise, and that's where our entrepreneurship component comes into it. Because one of the things that we very much push through their study in the university, it is about to have the entrepreneurial mindset. That entrepreneurial mindset, people always confused. When we talk about entrepreneurial mindset, they be thinking that, do I have to open a business? No, not really. Entrepreneurial mindset is important even for journalists, even for doctors, even for professional engineers. Because with that mindset, you can be really innovative and creative. So to me, the sector of hospitality, tourism, and medical and health sciences is a very important sector to be focused. But if you look into the economic growth, the SME is always the engine for growth in any country. So focus on that. Focus on entrepreneurship. That's where the university is all about.
And what are the mechanisms that are in place to ensure that the graduates, once they are done with the program, while they're in the job market?
Okay. So that is, I think, the element that we always push through the university. We are talking about not just to excel in academic. If you join the university, first thing that they will see me during the oath-taking ceremony, I will telling them, here in the university, to get the degree, everyone that have meeting the entry requirements of the university, normally they can pass. Normally they can get degree. But to excel, you need another component. We are not talking just academic to get 4.0 CGPA, but we are talking also you to have the soft skill component. And that we enrich through what we call it personal enrichment competency. We want you to be competent in those areas: empathy, creativity, innovation, communication, leadership, all these attributes that will make you a better graduate. And in the same manner, we enhance you through the values that you have, which is the sustainability values. So what does it mean? It means that if you become an entrepreneur, you're not going to be a corrupt entrepreneur, because we try to put integrity values in you. You become politician, you become very good, responsible politician. If you become a doctor, you become very accountable doctors, but yet very professional. So that things is very much what I'm used to say. Anyone that join university, go through process of oath taking with me as a new student, they will remember this catchphrase: balanced, holistic, and well-rounded. That's what we want to produce of all our graduates. Academic excellence, good attributes, and value-driven, purpose-driven student. You here with a purpose, and we want you to return to your community and build your community. That is our educational philosophy.
Without soft skills, there's no use.
No use. You can have good, excellent in academic, but you even a doctor, if you're a good doctor, but you cannot communicate. I mean, how are you going to communicate with your patient? If you go to your patient comes to you, you are like this. Maybe the patient will ask, "Are you sick, doctor?" So communication is very important.
Medical education in Sri Lanka, especially the private sector, university students in the private sector.
Right.
With your affiliation in Colombo, do you have an exchange program where they could complete their bachelor's in Sri Lanka and then pursue master's or PhD in the Malaysian universities? There are an ongoing program and support for Sri Lankan students that way.
I mean, the medical student
Yes.
can complete their study in master and PhD in Malaysia. Can.
We can do that.
They can do that. They can do in the current setting. Even in our university, they can do that. And our university, we prepare, just what I'm saying just now, with the global mindset, we prepare our medical students not just to work in Malaysia. We prepare them to work in Australia. We prepare the UK platform, for example. We prepare them to work in UK, to work in US, and so on and so forth. So that is the perspective that we have, even for our local students. I keep telling our local students, we are not preparing you for Malaysia. We are global university. We want you to work. That's why we have in our university, we have three things. Global Mobility Program, GMP. At least minimum 1 semester or 2 semester or 2 years outside. Global Leadership Program, minimum 2 weeks, maximum 3 months or 1 month. And Global Internship Program, GIP, working with the companies. Why we do that? I keep telling all of them, I want you to hear, but your education is beyond campus. Beyond campus. So you have to go out from Malaysia. If you are local, go out. As much as we bring international coming to our campus, we want you to go out. Because we want I want you to be able to work not only in Malaysia, but you can work in Dubai, you can work in Jeddah, you can work in Tokyo, you can work in Zhengzhou, you can work in Beijing. You even can work in London, in Adelaide and Melbourne. So that is the perspective. But yes, and this is what I'm saying here just now of academic plus attributes plus values. So that is what we're saying, what we've been doing for the last 40 years, successfully. I'm so happy, I'm so proud. We don't want to be a mega university. Our intake will not exceed 30,000. We limit the intake, because we want to produce the right type of graduates. And with the current scenario, very challenging, post-COVID, we call it now, we are living in the post-normal times, which is very challenging and disrupted. This type of hybrid education are very, very important for the future.
Definitely a development. It's a coin, the soft skills as well as the others. There's a lot of things. What are the challenges that you have faced in a shortest manner that you can say?
Here.
The whole journey.
What is, okay. Wow.
Challenges. Does this AI, digitalization has invaded everything, right? I don't think it's a challenge.
Okay, I think, yes, a lot of people didn't expect my answer. I think this is among the things that the people used to ask me, even just now in my TV interview, they asked the same question. I keep saying that for the last 40 years, my biggest challenge is not money, it's not resources. My biggest challenge is the talent. Talent. The thing that we intend to produce. That also the thing is so difficult to get. Because you need a good talent to develop university. If you want to produce a researcher, you must have very talented researcher to attract another student to join you. If you want to produce a good, top, talented professor, you need a talent. To bring a manager, you need talent. To get like Professor Ali Khatibi over there is difficult. You need a good talent. You know that. So talents to me is very, very important, because the asset of any organization is their human, their talents. And this is the most, to me, a very, very scarce thing to get all over places.
And also to maintain
To maintain the talent, to get the talent, to maintain the talent, to nurture the talent. So
develop the talent
to
also.
develop the talent, nurture the talent. So that is our biggest challenge in the university. And yet, we are the place of producing talent. You see the irony of it? So because talent is something very much, if you get the talent, anything you can do. Your company can grow, your business can grow, your industry can grow, your country also can grow. So talent is very much the future. If you build the talents, you even have the talent to maintain the robots, the AI. But without the talent, everything goes away. AI also can be very, very negative and dangerous if you not manage with the talents, with the integrity. So very much. You have seen that. I've seen that. In fact, I mean, you follow TikTok, many cases of that nature nowadays. So very good program, good scheme, but without the proper talents. So my dear, talent is the most difficult thing to get.